And good evening to you, and thanks for joining us back here in the studio. I am WSA3 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Leidy. Thanks for joining us here. We're going to do another update for you, kind of let you know what is going on, what we've had so far, what is still to come tonight, what we've already had take place. There really has been a lot. We've got snowfall totals to share with you, some video of a big pileup with semis along I-70, live report from that area as well. Meteorologist Jacob Dickey is with us, meteorologist Seth Bonoff here in the studio with us as well, as we're going to be giving you guys an update on things. Who has seen the snow? Who hasn't seen the snow? Why haven't some of you seen that snow? And we're going to kind of just go through it all here with you. So I know a lot of you hopefully bundled up at home. You're sitting back, hopefully you're relaxing. I don't know, maybe some of you either don't have school or maybe some of your work is closed. There are a lot of city buildings. A lot of that closed down. I know that Champaign has had that. I believe even, I think I saw Decatur, many other ones here. There are closings that are starting to really kind of filter in here, and there's going to be more as we go throughout tonight. This is a live look in Champaign here, where we've got still some snow that is falling. We've had snow falling through much of the afternoon and the evening here as well. Here's a look at just a little bit further down on Neal Street there, just off of Neal Street. Of course, the iconic State Farm Center. You can see the parking lot there looking like a snow-covered area there of the parking lot. Now, I know some folks that are maybe over in Danville that are a little disappointed, but you guys do have a little bit of snow over there. I know it's not as much as some of you have wanted. I know some of you are going, we don't want the snow. It's okay. Charleston, Mattoon, Coles County area, some big-time amounts that have come into us out there here today, which we'll get into more in here in a little bit. We have had some issues with some blowing, some drifting of some of that snow as well, and we'll talk about some of those impacts that we're going to have. Also over to Macon County in Decatur, you guys have had a decent amount of snow. Looks like there's a little plow down there trying to do its job in that parking lot. Here's the thing. What's happening now? What's going on with the radar? Let's kind of show it to you because, hey, Rantoul, Fisher, you might want to go out and take a look because there's been a little bit of a band that is set up there over your region. We decided because you haven't had anything and there was a lot of cries coming from that area, we might give you a little bit of that snow. No, that's not how that works. We have no control over it, but here we go. Along 136, there is a little bit of a band there. There's at least some snow possibly falling. Maybe it's not going to be as much as some of you wanted, but it does look like some snow is coming down up in that area here right now, as you can see. But look, there's a big break, and we thought this break would occur. This is kind of a little bit of a dry slot. It's expanded a little bit. There's still some time for some of this to kind of fill in. Everything's going to kind of wrap up here. We're going to get this kind of backside where maybe some of that snow kicks back in, and there are still a few bands out there. Might there be another inch and a half? Maybe in a few spots, okay? This is expected to fill in just a little bit more as we go throughout the course of tonight. When we look at it here on the future track, it's going to take us into the future here and really kind of key in on these little dark blue bands, not so much this kind of lighter stuff. But we still may have some of that precipitation kind of coming through as we go throughout the course of tonight. I'm going to show you that here on our future track on another model here. Maybe shows a little bit better idea of that. We're going to have these little bands, little pockets here that still may kind of fill in through tonight. So we're not completely done. We're probably done with some of the real heavy stuff, but there still may be some additional snow bands to move through as we go throughout the course of tonight. Here's what I'm going to do some snowfall totals here from across the area, and then we're going to be sending things over to Jacob and Seth here. But I know some of you are you're digging snow out, and look at some of these numbers here. Look at Chatham over in Sangamon County, 9.5 inches of snow. Our forecast for you is between 6 and 10 inches. Over in Taylorville, 6 to 10 inches for their forecast, 8.5. Same in Pana. Mattoon's at 7 inches there. Look at Arcola at 8 inches. They were right on that edge of our 6 to 10 forecast. Paris right in there. Oakland, Springfield. There are a lot of areas here in that bullseye that we kind of talked about in our forecast for much of the last several days. They got those heavier snows. Yes, up to the north. Yes, over into Ford and Iroquois County. Again, the whole time we kind of thought that may not really kind of come true for you. But here's the thing: in the hardest hit impact areas that we thought there would be highest impacts. That's exactly where the snow fell, which is most important, right? We warned the people about where the high impact areas would be. They did get that snow, and that's what's happening out there tonight. Here's the thing. We have had some bad things happen out here today as well. You know, we were hoping a lot of people could stay home, stay safe, but that hasn't been the case everywhere with things. Meteorologist Jacob Dickey has actually been down in, well, he's been down around Effingham and into Cumberland County for much of the day. They kind of got that early burst of snow, and it's caused some issues down that way. We're going to go over to Jacob now. Jacob, you are down there. Tell us a little bit about what you have encountered, because there's been a big pile up there along I-70, and I cannot believe the number of semis you told me that you think possibly were involved. What have you seen down there? What's going on now?
Yeah, hey Kevin, right now just for where I'm at, I made it back to Effingham. I came on US 40. I think the crews down here are doing a great job, doing the best they can, getting roads clear. And so we made it back to Effingham. Obviously things were much slower, but we have certainly decided to get back here and come, and we may go back to Greenup before long. I want to talk a little bit about this. First off, I'll show you my view now. This is I-7057 on the north side of Effingham. You can see traffic is moving westbound here. Eastbound traffic has been a little lighter, a little more hit and miss, and it's further east from here into Cumberland County, Greenup, between Greenup and Casey, where a major pileup happened. There were an estimated 40 vehicles involved, from one official from the fire department who told me that that was earlier on. I then talked to a tow truck operator, and that tow truck operator, he told me that there were 6 miles of crashes that they had to clean up. He did not anticipate that the interstate will open until 10 to 12 hours from then, and that's about 6 a.m. tomorrow. And so that is something that we are going to continue to watch and keep an eye on for things like that. Now, you see the interstate there now, Kevin. That's not the only spot there. Actually, there's been some problems by Lincoln on Interstate 55 and 155. Part of the road closed over there. And then we've had a lot of spots here and there. We've been monitoring a spot on the south side of Mattoon, right before you get to the 45 exit heading northbound. There's been a pretty consistent slowdown there as well. And so we're having those issues out there and having problems. I did speak to Montrose Fire Department. They said 7 a.m. today, they started having calls, and they actually responded to at least one crash, not including that pileup. They had a couple of injuries, but they have been busy and keeping up with things through the day today and even into tonight as things continue. I want to talk more about that pileup. We do have some video from that scene. Let's go ahead and take that video. You'll see the audio for about a minute. We'll be back once it's over, but I wanted to show you the scenes here from that pileup about an hour and a half after it happened. So that's the video from the scene that I took over one of the bridges there. And we know that was one section of crashes. We could see them in both directions from that bridge. That was about 4 miles to the east of the Greenup exit there. But some of the tow truck operators were telling me that they were going to have cleanup for a while from that. Steve Kaufman from Heartland Towing, I talked to him, and I've had a lot of pictures and photos and videos put on my Facebook page if you want to see more from that scene. The Montrose Fire Department, we stopped there as well, and we've got a little clip of what they talked about, I believe, that call they got 7 in the morning and some of the crashes that they've been dealing with. Let's listen into now to see what the chief has to say about that.
7:10, we had our first call. We had a rollover at the 107 and a half. Is semi rollover. it was on a blind curve, so we had to do more traffic control than anything. There was no injuries on that one. And then we got back here, I'd say an hour and a half later, and had a short break, and then we got called back out for a semi that was broke down in the roadway that caused traffic to back up, and a passenger car was hit by another semi while it was in the traffic. So we've been out there ever since. So if you can stay home, stay home.
So certainly it has been a busy day here in the I-70 corridor for emergency responders. We've seen Greenup Fire, we've seen Montrose Fire out. I've seen some other IDOT crews, a lot of state police as well, and that road is still closed from the Greenup exit to Casey. On my drive back to Effingham, Kevin, I did see that there was about 5-6 miles of backed up traffic on the eastbound lanes there, and so it's gonna be a long cleanup to get everything taken care of. It is all hands on deck. There's been crews from all over coming to that. That was earlier. We'll probably end up back there tonight for the news at 9 and 10, Kevin. I do want to show you the front view now here. And you were talking about that dry, or I guess drier weather that's here. We're actually getting some freezing drizzle right now here. So a little bit of light rain that's freezing on contact and causing ice. A little bit of sleet has come earlier, but the snow has maybe very fine at best here. But you can also see the flag in front of me, Kevin, how it's whipping around there. Perhaps for us here in the I-70 corridor, the blowing snow is not as bad. It's been there, but that little freezing layer of drizzle and sleet has almost compacted and helped to keep it more in place. I know that's not the case, though, further to the north that has not had the freezing drizzle and sleet. We've had a lot of blowing snow reports from Mattoon, Charleston, even as far north as southern Champaign County. Cass County Sheriff has talked about on his Facebook page that blowing visibility is being reduced from all that blowing snow, and so that's something that is going to continue to be the case. So that's what we're dealing with here. It's a mess out there, but it's a big, Kevin, you're in the mess, or you got next to nothing, I think, or even nothing in some instances further to the north. As expected, this has been a very much a high impact, even very high impact event here for a good chunk of our viewing area. Live in the Storm Tracker, I think Kevin will talk to you later as well, and if you have any questions too, feel free and let me know, but we can always check back in with you later.
Yeah, no, you know, here's the thing, I just want to stress, you know, kind of something to you know, here's the thing, when we're doing these forecasts, it's tough. And yeah, we got to have thick skin. We hear a lot from a lot of people and whatnot. But, you know, so far our team's actually pretty proud of what our forecast was. We talked about those totals there in Christian County, in Coles County. I mean, 7, 8, 9 inches, you know, in the Sangamon County. It's right there. I know some of you up here are going, what? But I saw a comment and it just made me, I just want to make the remark. Somebody just asked, where's that 9 to 13 inches you forecast? Our team has never, ever forecast anything of that nature. The maximum we have had this entire time, since Thursday, was 6 to 10. We never, ever went above those numbers. It never happened. So other locations, other outlets have that. We have not. So we have been in this 6 to 10 inch thing since Thursday. It is Sunday. That's difficult to do. You know, we've got that bullseye area. Yes, this northern edge did catch, you know, a little bit of that drier air, and it cut things off. But all along, if you go back and watch our newscast from Thursday and Friday night, we kind of even zoomed in like this, and we said, boy, I tell you, you may not get hardly anything up in Ludlow, but boy, you get down to that Champaign and Douglas County line, and it's going to be a lot more, and that has been the case here. So again, it's all about what forecast you were looking at, whose forecast. I know they can get confusing because there's a lot of them out there. There's apps and there's other stations and there's other things and all that. Again, we've been pretty proud with, especially this area here, we talked about this is exactly where that bullseye has been, where the highest impacts were going to be, and that's where we've had that. Jacob, would you kind of concur on all of that there? I mean, you know, I know some people up there have been disappointed to the north and east, but in the areas that got hit the hardest, that's exactly what we talked about. We never had 9 to 13 inches as a forecast, right?
No, and you're right, Kevin. And when you talk about these numbers here, our take was this storm could overperform. We had that as a possibility, but we came a little conservative with the numbers because of some of the uncertainty. How much sleet and freezing rain would we get in Effingham? That's happened here. I've had some 6 to 8 inch measurements here in Effingham, which maybe is about spot on. Will it look like that tomorrow with this freezing drizzle? It might compact it down a little bit, but boy, these roads here are slick coming around the corner, and you got to be extra careful, extra cautious with that. I can also say on the northern side, there's a fair number of people who are actually really happy that they missed out on the snow. I can vouch. The mayor of Gibson City himself said to me, I'm happy there's no snow. So he's pretty happy with that as well. But that tight cutoff, there will be folks, Kevin, who live in Gibson City and in Paxton, and they wake up tomorrow and they're going to commute down to Champaign, or maybe folks in Rantoul are heading to Tuscola, and it will be a night and day difference from Rantoul. I don't think Rantoul had an inch. Tolonos had 5 inches. So such a tight, sharp gradient where night and day differences with what will happen there. And that's something that we thought all along would be the case, Kevin. Yes, impact-wise though, at WCIA, we've made that decision to lead with impact-based forecasting. It's been nasty traveling down here, and
we've had a few comments.
Have had their fair share of problems.
Yeah. There's been a few comments in the chat. There's like, it is a mess down. I have to paraphrase it and censor it, but he's like, it's a, what kind of a mess down here. And that's, you kind of nailed it there, talking about how if you are commuting or if you're driving from up there in Gibson City into, say, Tolono or something, I mean, it is night and day. We've had our Aunt Amanda Brennan, her family, I guess, was in town, and she was talking about how they were driving from the south side in Savoy and then going north, and it was so different there. And so there's a lot of people that are going to be encountering that out there. Jacob, we'll check back in with you here in just a little bit. I'm going to let you off just for a second because I've got meteorologist Seth Bonehoff that is here with us. And Seth, you've been looking at some of these road conditions. Boy, you can literally tell the story of where the snow fell and where it did not based upon the road condition maps. Tell us about what you're seeing over there.
Yeah, you absolutely can. Now, we've kind of been talking about the whole time, kind of all the way up till about I-74, and then it's almost like a magic line, just kind of shuts things off once you get to the north. And the thing is, lots of people get kind of caught up in these snowfall totals. To be honest, when you get to 5 inches of snow, there's not a whole lot of difference in the impacts between that and 8 inches of snow. So that's kind of why we do this impacts forecasting, because there's lots of different snow totals from I-74 all the way down to the south. But look at those road conditions. They're all the exact same. Those roads are covered up right now, and it's pretty dicey conditions. Again, even in places where there was 4 inches of snow and in places where there was 8 inches of snow. And notice this map right here, kind of memorize it for a sec and take a look at our next map. This was our forecasted impacts map, which pretty much had that exactly where it was. So those places up there to the north, maybe a little disappointed with the snow. The impacts were there pretty much the entire time. We knew there'd be some. There'd be a lot of places that kind of missed out on it. There'd be a few places that got a little bit. But for the most part, from this red point all the way down to the south, that's kind of the area that we thought had the best potential to have the best pure snowfall, maybe even a little bit of sleet or some of that freezing drizzle down there to the south to cause some extra problems as well. So pretty much the whole time it was an I-74 all the way down to the south problem. That band just didn't quite get all the way up there to the north end, kind of like what we had thought would happen. Now here's kind of a neat little map, maybe just a little difficult to decipher this one compared to some of our other maps just because it is of the entire state. But you see this kind of yellow band in there, that's anywhere between about 6 all the way up to 8 inches. That's pretty much exactly where our forecast map was, just right here somewhere between I-72 and I-70, where you got some of those 8-inch reports, some of those 9-inch reports, some of those reports closer to 10 inches. And then right as you get up here to I-72, those colors fade in a hurry. Look at this dark blue, then the next shade, the next shade. That is all over the span of just one county. Look at McLean County right here, this dark blue color there. That's equivalent to up to about 4 to 5 inches. And then on the northeast side of that county, you're talking about maybe just 1 or 2 inches. So the cutoff was that sharp. And again, this map should look familiar because look at that. That's exactly where your highest totals were. And then it just kind of magically started to fade up there to the north a little bit. So we knew those cutoffs were going to be very sharp as well. So this isn't to necessarily brag about the forecast, but it's just to show we've been talking about this the whole time. So if you're disappointed, it's the kind of thing where we kind of knew there would be places that would be disappointed. That's just kind of how it would all end up shaping up. One thing I do want to mention, even though the snowfall is kind of taking a little bit of a lull in the activity right now, we're anticipating more later tonight, and even though that snow might be lighter in nature, the impacts don't stop because the snow has stopped. Look at your winds as this system continues to get closer and closer. The deeper in the night we go, those gusts ramp up 30 to 40 miles an hour. Some folks have even noted that they've noticed those wind gusts ramping up there at home. That's going to blow around that snow on the ground. When you have that powdery snow, it's very easy to just be tossed up in the air, kind of reduce your visibility in some spots, and even kind of displace some snow where there wasn't a whole lot before. Maybe a little drift kind of blows over into that spot, and a spot that you thought you had cleared on out actually ends up piling up again. So we're going to see these gusts continue all the way into tomorrow morning. They are set to decrease a little bit as we go deeper and deeper into the morning. Those impacts will continue. Obviously, those temperatures we've been talking about are going to be frigid. We're going to have those highs maybe just in the teens a couple days, and that's not going to be made any warmer because of that snow on the ground. So that snow really not set to go anywhere. The only place it's going to go is wherever the wind kind of takes it, and this could be a pack that's on the ground for quite some time. So, Kevin, like we said, even though the snow is kind of in a little bit of a lull period right now, that wind is going to make it almost as if it's still snowing out there.
Yeah, the winds could continue to be an issue here tonight, especially where we've had some of the blowing, or where that snow's been a little bit drier and fluffier, and you're going to get thrown around a little bit. So again, I've had a lot of people, and here's what I'm going to do is, over the next 60 seconds, if you have a specific question, type it in the chat. We see you over here in the chat, and I'll answer those. So over the next 60 seconds, type your question over here. If you've got one, make it a good one. Okay, I will say we've had this little band of snow that's set up there. Potomac, you're seeing some of that now. We're in Tool, we had confirmed reports. Hey, it's snowing up there. So we've had some of that. And stretching back towards Fisher. Yeah, maybe there's a little bit of a break here in Champaign right now. As a matter of fact, let's show you the view just outside the studio, right along the street, Neal Street here. And you can see it's covered. I mean, that's Neal Street. And here's the thing, it's going to be cold. Guess what? Salt doesn't work anymore when it gets to be kind of this cold. This starts to get kind of compacted down. Okay, it's tougher for the plows to actually try to clear it out. So you can see that's Neal Street, main thoroughfare through Champaign. And it's kind of compacted down, and it's going to be covered for a while. And then you've got folks that are going to be walking out in this, and it's going to stay cold. I mean, we've got wind chills are going to be down here tonight. We're going to be transitioning from kind of the snow and the talk of that all the way to the cold that's out there. Boy, you can just kind of see some of the snow getting kicked up on the headlights there, just there in Neal Street. And this is in the city. Imagine what it's like out in the country. You live out in the rural areas. It's so different than what it is in the city here, so kind of keep that in mind. Okay, I'm just going to answer a couple of your guys' questions here that maybe kind of popped in, and just give me a second to kind of come through here. Will we see here thunder snow? No, Joe, I don't think that's going to happen. The best chance of that would have been a little bit earlier today, and there were some reports of that to our west. How much snow will we have in Danville for Monday, and what time? Just trying to see. Listen, Danville, you're probably going to get a whole lot more, maybe another inch or so as we go throughout the course of tonight. Again, it will be very different as you travel west or south of Danville. I was told that Tilton, very different. Westville, very different from Danville. Georgetown, Ridge Farm, very different. The more just even 20 miles south there. How much snow did Mattoon get? Was there a 7?
Yes,
I think maybe?
Charleston had
8.
So we
okay, so probably in that 7 to 8 inch range. How do you think the roads will be in the morning, Jessica? Depends upon where you are. I don't know where you are. I can't answer that for you. If you're in Gibson City, probably going to be okay. If you are down in Sullivan or Mattoon, Charleston area, Coles County, probably not going to be the best. Any estimates on road conditions in the morning? Again, Carrie, that depends upon where you are. It is very different. We continue to stress it's very different to the north than what it is to the south here. Snowing in Villa Grove, how much accumulation expected overnight? Again, Nick, here's the thing. When you ask your questions, I got to know where you are. We cover 25 counties and about 500 cities. So I got to know where you are to answer some of the specific ones here. Will we get much more overnight? No, probably not a whole lot more across the area, an inch and a half in a few spots. Would you predict Tolono and surrounding areas we'll see from now until morning? See, there we go, specific areas. Again, an additional inch, inch and a half of snow is not out of the question, but if that snow starts to blow around a bit, that becomes a little bit of an issue. What can we expect after midnight into 7 to 8 a.m.? Again, just these little bursts of snow. We're going to have that, or maybe in some areas we're getting freezing drizzle. Jacob was kind of reporting that down there in at the Effingham area, so he's got some of that still. The more north you get, less of that chance. How long are the winds going to be strong enough to blow the snow on the ground to cause problems? Those winds are still gusting through tomorrow morning, right?
Even up to 35-ish by sunrise.
Okay, so still 35 through the morning hours there. Bloomington, Illinois, not a whole lot up there, guys, so you're looking okay. Charleston, Mattoon, again, talked about that, 7 or 8 inches. No snow in Rossville until now. It's snowing in Rossville, we're being told. What's the expected impact between Stewartson and Mattoon tomorrow? I would say that's actually a pretty hard-hit area. We've had, some 7-8 inch reports down that way. Taylorville get any more snow tonight? Yeah, there probably is some additional snow that's still kind of set to come through. This whole low is going to wrap up. We get the backside to wrap up and kick in some of that snow. How much did Champaign get? I bet Champaign's probably up to 3 inches now,
Probably.
3.5.
We had
Could
2
be.
earlier in the day.
We
So
had 2.5 earlier, so Champaign's probably up to 3.5. But again, you go just south, you get down to Tolono. It starts to ramp up quite a bit there along I-70. Why isn't it doing anything in Rantoul? Says Randy. Well, you guys kind of got the short end of the stick with some dry air up that way. What's the total in Lincoln? That's a good one. I haven't heard about Lincoln, and the Weather Service office is over there, so we'll have to kind of get back to you on that. Okay, there's a lot of questions still coming. Boy, you guys fired away on these here. I'm trying to keep up as much as I can. Appreciate everybody that's tuned in here to the chat. A lot of these are we going to get any more snow tonight? The answer is yes. Are we going to get a lot more snow? Probably not. And let me just show you again our Futurecast graphic that shows these little pockets here. Notice you see these darker blues that's now off in Indiana? That's what we had earlier today, okay? See how this is not as the darker blue? So it's going to be more of the lighter snows. I say that, loosely, but not as heavy, okay? So we're still going to have some of that. But notice how a lot of it maybe still comes across some of our southern counties here as that low wraps up and clears out. But look at this. That's 7 a.m. and pretty much the snow's done, okay? I don't see a whole lot more, overnight, but there may be that additional inch or two. Will not rule that out. Okay, we've got Jacob that is out there, and Jacob has been reporting across the area here for us, and I believe he's ready to talk to us. Let's go out to Jacob and see what is going on there with him. You're out. Whoa, that looks like a lot of snow out there. What do you got?
Yeah, Kevin, you're right here. This is a parking lot, and they've cleared all that snow, and they've piled it up here. And you can see even maybe, I think the camera might catch in the background, there's a flag. That east wind's still in place. The low's still yet to come, so more snow to come here as well. Right now, it's more of a very fine powdery snow as opposed to freezing drizzle. It's not that heavy, so we're not adding a whole lot. But this is pile. I mean, the pile's taller than me. This is what I remember as a kid. There's gonna be some happy kids in this neighborhood that have these snow drifts and are able to play with it in the next couple of days. And so that's something that is really fun to see here down in Effingham. It's a winter wonderland. Kevin, I tell you what, the fun part about this is folks have had their Christmas lights on. They are still out in a lot of places, and with the snow on top, it looks absolutely beautiful. Very much a winter wonderland that is here in Effingham, and a lot of our places are seeing that as well. Folks, you're getting winter or you're not. Kevin, can you hear me? And Seth, can you both hear me by chance? Or is it just Kevin?
I can hear you, but I can make it so Seth can hear you too. Go ahead.
Well, that's okay.
Seth can hear you
now. Kevin, actually, that's great. Well, actually, Kevin, what we need to do is I'm actually somewhere in Effingham where I thought we'd play a little game. We've been talking business and travel and things like that. We got to play a little game. There's another camera close by here you might be able to spot me on in the storm tracker. And so you might have to take advantage of that and try and zoom in. Is that something you guys can do?
Hold on here.
Can't quite tell. So while you're figuring that, okay, all right. We gotta have a little fun and spot. It's always fun to see the storm tracker on our cameras. We typically make stops in front of them. Mattoon, Charleston. We've been in front of the Champaign one. We've driven down Main Street in Decatur. We get into Springfield, try and see it, drive by the Capitol there. So we'll see if you're able to zoom in. I think I could see it actually. It's the camera on top of HSH of St. Anthony. So you might see me down here and be able to get a view of the winter wonderland. That is the case here. So I'm actually, I don't know. Should I tell you? Does Seth recognize this?
Well, let's see.
Does Seth recognize
Let's see here.
Territory?
Well, he's attempting to move that camera around, so bear with us here, and we'll see.
This could be a hint. This could be a hint
the
behind
church?
me as well. That flag. The flag in the wind direction, right?
The flag with the wind direction. So
we'll see if you can.
That's blowing north. So we need to be looking towards the south then.
Nope. It's an
northeasterly wind.
It's an east wind here right now.
Oh, is it east down there?
It's an east wind right now. It's an east wind here right now. Yeah. So we'll see.
Do you see the camera moving?
I'm not sure if I
down
have a. It's a little dark. A little dark to see that here entirely. I'm looking. I'm peeking at it, and there may be a spotlight in between me and whatnot. So we'll have to see if you guys can see me. I think that camera can get down to this church over here. How close are you? You feel close? Anyone?
Still.
We are struggling. We're struggle bus here right now.
Maybe
We're
look
trying
a little. Maybe look north and maybe look north and a little east. That'd be your. I'll just say you look north and east here. I'm in the northeast lot of the HSHS where they've been piling snow. They've got crews out here now that are shoveling things, and of course.
Yeah, well, I think maybe the tall buildings or something are blocking.
Is it?
Yeah,
Is it? I was.
Yeah, we're trying to find you, but
Well.
I don't think we're gonna be able to. I don't know.
All right. Well, I'm pretty.
I've seen the church,
I'm
but I
pretty
can't
sure
say
the
I go
church you
past
can-
it all the time to pinpoint where it's at.
He's there
All
somewhere.
right. I'm back in the storm tracker.
Now we're back to where we started.
I'm back in the storm tracker. Let's just do a little whoopie daisy around. I mean, I am dead in front of the church right now here.
Okay, I think I know.
Oh, there's Amanda.
I'm moving.
Well, we see him out there.
Where we see?
Boy,
I'm moving more north. I'm gonna go to the northwest corner. I think that might be a little better
that
vantage
him?
point.
Who's right out there?
Because I think
Oh, is that
the
him on the
camera
right?
is on the
Is that
other
him on the
side.
right?
Of the
go back to the right. Go back to the right. No, to the right. This way.
Oh,
I think I see it spinning.
I think we're gonna see him here.
there he is. It's a little laggy, but there he is. Yeah,
He's coming.
He's about to get right.
There he
into
is.
the
All right, we got him. Hold on here.
There he
You
is.
see me waving there?
Oh, hold on. He's got to move the
get
camera
around.
a little bit.
It's a little laggy.
There he is.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we got you. Well, you're coming around that building. We're gonna lose you here in a second. But yeah, there you go. Okay. All right, there we go. Boy, a lot of. Can you tell
So
we've been here since 7 a.m. today? There we go. Yeah, there we go. There he is. All right, get out there and yeah, there you go. Boy, that looks like a glacier. Looks like a glacier of snow. Look at that.
It's huge. This is taller than the storm tracker here. This is probably a 12-foot pile where we're sitting here, where they've shoveled it off and whatnot. And overall, it's pretty solid snow. It's got that powderiness to it, but there's a bit of a that drizzle has put a little bit of a coat on it there, so it's kind of clumping up and whatnot. Maybe not the best snowball type of snow, but certainly, I got a big boulder in my hand. I don't know if you can see it from up here. People wave. I don't know if you can see the boulder in my hand, but there's a good chunk of it that's in there, and a lot of fun here, Kevin, in good old Effingham today. Kevin?
Well, there we go. There he is. He's over there now. Listen, I do want to stress this though, because we did do a story earlier in the week where they said, please don't have your kids playing on these snow piles because they. And I never thought about this, but I was like, wow, that's a thing. Don't have your kids playing on the snow piles, because when they come along to kind of clean it up, they may pick up your kids if they're in the snow pile. You don't want that. So just be careful over there.
That's true.
Yeah, I never thought about that before. I played in piles of snow before, so but that's something. But there's Jacob. We're zoomed in on our camera. It's down in Effingham. He is down there. Any last final thoughts there?
Yeah, let me find a parking lot where I shouldn't say that on camera. I say, do some donuts here, right? No, we eat donuts. That's all. That's all we do.
There he is. He's driving now.
Did you hear me there, Kevin? Last little thoughts.
Oh, the donuts. Yeah, we should not do any donuts in the parking lot. Should not do donuts in the parking lot.
Yeah, I'm on camera. So, hey, I tell you what, Kevin, a bit more of a serious note here, just on the travel side of things. I am going to start making my way back towards Greenup. I'll anticipate having a live report for you coming up tonight on WCIX News at 9, and the 10 o'clock newscast following the games. Kevin, back to you.
Okay, that's great. There he goes. Speaking of that, our 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. producer / anchor / everything, Amanda Brennan, is in here and is going to be talking to you probably soon about your participation in our newscast here in just a little bit. So there you go. A little lightheartedness, trying to have a little fun out here after being here for 13 hours. So there goes Jacob, and we will let him go there, shut his audio off, and then kind of start to wrap things up here in the next few minutes with you guys on the live stream. We got our newscast that's coming up here at 9 o'clock here tonight. Okay. You can still see this is the current radar. We've got some pockets and these little bands of snow, and I'll just kind of put a little bit of a loop on it here real quick, and it just kind of shows you we've still got some snow to come through. Kind of this northern edge. You guys have kind of missed out on some of the snow because we had some drier air earlier, and now things moistening up a little bit. There's definitely quite a bit of a break now towards Effingham. They might have some freezing drizzle still ongoing in a few spots, but definitely seeing less in the way of some of that coverage. But there's still the possibility of some light additional snow. But keep in mind, it's still windy out there. It is still very cold. I haven't even pulled this up yet, so I'm just going to pull this up. I haven't been outside in a while. I know it's probably pretty cold. I'm just going to take a glance at what that current temperature is because it is starting to come down, and it looks like we're down to 21 degrees in Champaign, but with the wind factored in, let me pull up the current wind chill. Right now it feels like 5 degrees outside, so very cold and soon set to go down below 0 here before too long in the coming days. So we're going to see that possibly into your Monday morning there. So some really cold temperatures out there. Mandy, got anything you want to add in?
I've got a really huge bright spot coming up out of Mat
you got a bright
2.
spot. Here, come over here and tease what you got.
Oh.
Come on camera. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Here, tease. What do we got coming up tonight?
Oh, this is like a little, oh my, hi
little-
everyone.
Here, I'm just gonna do this.
Oh,
We're very unofficial right now. It's fine. There's only 5,000 people watching.
it's fine. Hi everyone.
What's coming up on the newscast tonight? Because you've been working on the show all day.
All sorts of weather. We crank things off with 6 minutes of you, Seth, and Jacob. Who wouldn't want anything else, right?
Oh boy, please tune in.
And then, of course, we toss it over to Cole Hankey. He'll have an update. There's Jacob. He'll have an update out of Springfield from Illinois State Police, who have actually I-55 is shut down right now in the Lincoln area.
Oh really?
So we will have that update coming up tonight at 9 and 10. Cole will be talking a little bit about that. Then we transition into other Springfield news. We've got a homicide over there, got bad car accidents,
Okay.
all that. Courtney's in with sports. Big Illini win today. She'll be recapping that. We've got a lot going on in the newsroom. Just the other side of that
Just
door over there.
Okay. Perfect.
Perfect.
Thank
Welcome
you.
right back.
All right. I'll take the mic.
Here you go.
Hey, good job. Thank you.
Yay.
Here we go. And Jacob wants to know if you would like him to bring back any snowballs.
Sure.
Okay.
Will they last?
I guess you're okay to get to throw snowballs at Amanda. She said it was okay. I guess maybe not.
Not at me.
Not at her. She says okay. All right. There's Jacob Schott again. There he is coming through. Where are you at again? He's down there. He's still in Effingham. So there he is. Okay, guys. He's heading east on 40. There you go. All right, cool. So we're going to start to wrap things. Seth, you got any last minute thoughts? What do you got over there?
Other than just the fact that, we've been talking a lot about the snow, but it's about to be so darn cold here in just a little bit that's one thing that kind of gets forgotten throughout everything. I'll just kind of pop up the wind chills real quick. That's tomorrow morning. Tuesday morning also set to get well down there in the negatives on the wind chill, but I think Wednesday morning is still our worst one. We'll see how far down that goes. Yeah, it could be feeling like negative 14, 15 in Effingham come Wednesday morning. So it's going to take a little bit for the temperatures to rebound up. It's going to be going down for the next couple days. But I think by next weekend, it could be relatively mild again. And by mild, I mean mid-20s. So it'll be a pretty intense cold burst while it's here. But definitely something that maybe gets lost in the fold a little bit in the scheme of things. But other than that, we pretty much kind of walked you through everything you need to know here for the rest of the night into tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good. That is gonna just kind of wrap things up here for us here tonight on our live stream. We've got more coming up at 9 and 10 o'clock tonight, so make sure to tune in. There's that Effingham shot again down there at the hospital where we found Jacob a little bit earlier. Stay safe. You're going to be going out and about tonight because, again, especially in the rural areas, wind's still kicking up. If you're curious about more information, tune into the newscast tonight for the very latest. And that's going to wrap it up here for tonight. Golden Globes are on. I hope that they're on time ending. You never know some of those shows there, but who knows? Sometimes we can be on a minute or two late. So don't go anywhere. We'll still be on there with you. In the meantime, coming up right at the top of the hour, 8 o'clock, we wrap things up here on our WCA3 live stream. We'll see you on the newscast coming up tonight. Thanks for joining us, and stay safe out there as we head into your early Monday morning.